So in the last video, we have seen how to create our own annotation. Now in this video, we'll talk about how to use it. So we have created the annotation here and then we have mentioned add smartphone, but how can we use that? So what we'll do here is let me create a variable here. Let me create two variables. One is string model name and what else? Let me have int screen size. Okay, let's have these two variables here, and we can assign the value to it with the help of a constructor. So let me use the Eclipse feature to take the constructor there. Okay, source, and where's the constructor? It's here, and let's assign both the values. Click on OK. You got your constructor there. Now what we'll do is once we have assigned the constructor, we can create the object of it, right? So we can create Nokia A series. It's here, and we'll say obj equal to new Nokia A series, and we can assign the model number. Let's say the model name is Fire. Fire is taken by Amazon, I know, but let's say we have Fire, and let's say screen size is 5. So that's 5-inch. Okay, so we can print the values of the Nokia object, right? So you can simply say o dot model. We can print the value. If I run this code, you can see it says Fire. But I don't want to print the values of Nokia. I want to print, is it a smartphone or not, or if it is a smartphone, which version of Android it uses, right? Now how to see that? So what I want is I want to know the annotation value for this class. To fetch that, we need to create object of smartphone, because if you can create the object of smartphone, you will get the data. Let's name it S. But hold on, we don't want directly an object of smartphone. I want the value from this obj. So to print this value of OS and version, we need a smartphone object. So to do that, we have to follow some steps. Let me remove this. So the first step is you have to create a class object. We'll say class C equal to obj dot get class. So basically we have to use reflection API here to fetch the values of the annotation. So reflection API is basically a new API introduced in Java using which you can get the values of the object or the features of the object. So we can say class C equal to obj.get class, and then we can create the object of annotation. So annotation basically belongs to a class annotation. It belongs to a package annotation. You can see that, and all the annotations. So whenever you create annotation, it's a subclass of annotation. So if you create annotation like this, it's a subclass of annotation. So annotation is an interface, not a class. It's an interface, and it was introduced in 1.5. So basically this concept of annotation was introduced in 1.5. So we'll say annotation an equal to, now how do we get annotation? So we have to say c dot get annotation of which class, because one class can have multiple annotations, so we have to specify which annotation you're talking about. So I'm talking about smartphone annotation. So once we got the annotation, let's create the object of smartphone. Now we'll say smartphone s equal to an, because that's an annotation here. We just have to typecast it with smartphone. Okay, so from this annotation we got our smartphone. Now once we got the smartphone, we can print the values of it. We can say s dot OS. It will print the value of OS, and that is your, okay, we got null point exception, is not able to fetch the value. Have I missed something? Okay, I don't think so. I guess I'm missing something here. We got the annotation, we got everything seems good. Oh, we forgot to specify some values here. So whenever you create your own annotation, we have to specify certain values. Now those values are, first we can specify that the target, till what point, where this annotation will be used. So this annotation will be used on the class. So for that we have to mention element type dot type. So if you say type, it will be assigned at the class level. First you have to import the package. Done. Okay, does it working now? We are still getting an error. Oh, what this error is about? We have created the smartphone object. We got the annotation. Okay, we have to specify one more annotation, which is at basically we have four metadata annotation which we have to use. So again, we'll talk about that in some time. So we have to specify the retention policy. Till what point you want your annotation to work. So we'll say I want this to go till runtime, and here we go. So we have to specify these two. So these two are called as meta annotations. Now, why we use this? Because whenever you want to create your own annotation, we have to specify this annotation. So the first annotation, which is at target. So we have to specify on what level we'll be using this annotation, on class level, on method level, on field level. Because if you mention method here, so this will work on method level now. You can also specify constructor, I guess. Yeah, you can specify constructor, so it will work on constructor level. You can also mention field level, so it will work on field level. But we want to use it on class or interface, we can use type. We can specify the retention time. So till what point you want this annotation. So if you specify source, so this will be available only till source. It will not be available in the class or in the compiled file. If you specify what other policies we have, if you specify class, it will be available in .class file also. And if you specify runtime, it will be there at runtime also. So this is one. If you want to introduce your annotation and in the documentation itself, because let's say after creating the software, if you want to create the documentation of it, you can introduce the annotation in document also by using at documented annotation. We have one more, which is at inherited. So let's say if you provide the annotation, so if you are using I forgot the spelling or what. Yeah, so if you are using this smartphone annotation on Nokia series, and in future if you are creating a new class, let's say Windows series, or maybe maybe some new series, NA series phone, something in that way, and this class extends Nokia series. Okay, so if you want that this annotation should be available for this class as well, we have to use at in. So we have to specify at inherited. That's one of the annotation we have to use. So that's it about annotation. If you liked this video, make sure you like the video and comment in the comment section about if you have any queries, and do subscribe to the channel.